So let's talk about free roaming rats. Why to free roam them, how to free roam them, where to free roam them. Let's cover everything in this video because I get so many questions on this topic. So rats are high energy, intelligent animals, and giving them time outside of their cage, one, is a good form of exercise, two, they can also interact with their environment, different forms of enrichment, toys, accessories, and finally allows them to interact with you and form a close bond with you. Now, different sources and different people will tell you different durations of time that rats have to have outside their cage every single day for free roam, and in the early days I would have been one of those people that sits here and says that rats have to have at least an hour outside the cage every single day, because when I was younger I would just leave the door open and most of the day they would come and go. But now, as a mostly fully fledged adult with responsibilities and chronic illnesses, that's not always possible, and that's okay. As long as you've got a big cage full of enrichment, full of things for them to do, and they've got each other, that is the main thing. It's okay to skip a day here or there. Life happens, life gets in the way, but obviously you want to enjoy your rats if you're going to have them and enjoy interacting with them, and they want to have a nice life too, so making time for free roam is important. So where you set up a space to free roam is entirely up to you. You don't have to have a whole designated room to do this. You can do it very small scale, and I do recommend doing this to start with. So obviously when you get new rats, whether they're babies or adults, they don't know you yet, you don't know them yet. You've not formed that level of trust where if you would just let them loose in a big room or in your house, that you can guarantee they're going to come back or not get stuck behind furniture and things. So start very small scale, either on your bed or your sofa. Just place down a blanket or something, because they are gonna pee in scent marks sometimes, and just put down cardboard boxes for them to hide in, tunnels, beds, things like that. You can start very small scale, and that is okay. It just gives them a chance to exercise and do this safely. Another great place to free roam them if you don't have much space or you're just starting out small scale is the bathroom. Most bathrooms don't tend to have much furniture in for them to get stuck behind, and it kind of forces them to have to come to you and interact with you. And you can have some space to set up various different toys and enrichment and activities. Just be careful and just double check your bathroom doesn't have any gaps behind toilets or sinks, or they can't get into the bath. I've seen so many horror stories of people's rats going down under the bath and not coming out for a long time, so just make sure it is super secure, and obviously also shut the toilet lid just in case. The bathrooms can be a really good option if you don't have much space in the rest of your house, or you share that space with predators like dogs and cats or other family members. Bathrooms can be a really good option. You can also invest in a playpen if your room is not very secure, or you just don't want the rats wandering around touching your stuff. But most playpens sold at pet stores or online for rodents are not going to be suitable, because the rats are going to jump out of them, and rats can jump pretty high. So most people tend to use shoe storage grids and stack these a couple of layers up. And that can be a really good solution to keep your rats safe. Just be aware that most rats are going to spend the entire time in that playpen trying to figure out how to escape, rather than interacting with the things inside of it. So sometimes it does make more sense to just rat proof the room and let them go. So if you are choosing to free roam them in their own room, or your bedroom or living room or kitchen, there are obviously certain precautions to take to make sure they're safe. Now these are probably all common sense. You've probably already thought about these already, but things like making sure predators are secured, cats, dogs away from the rats, make sure they're not going to bust down the door and come in, make sure the rats' tails can't go under the door for cats to get, things like that. Also making sure any windows or doors to the outside are shut. Even if you think your rats have no way of getting to them, they will find a way. And I had a very close call a couple of years ago that I will openly admit scared the living daylights out of me. They had never been on that particular windowsill before, and I had the window open because it was really hot in summer, and within seconds one of them was up there, and I've never moved so fast in my entire life. But that has taught me to not keep windows open when the rats are out, just in case. Also making sure they can't access any wires or plug sockets or chargers. My rats have never really shown much interest in chewing any of the wires that I've got, but I do sit here and watch them just in case. But if you have a rat that's a particular chewer and is targeting your wires, your plug sockets, your skirting boards. You can also use the playpens I mentioned previously, the shoe storage units, and attach these in a line to make a barrier, and use these to block off any areas or any things you don't want the rats to touch. In terms of how to set up their free roam and what to put into this can be whatever you like, and it doesn't have to be expensive. It can literally just be made up of cardboard boxes that you're reusing, cutting holes in, sticking together to make houses and castles. It doesn't have to be expensive, and the rats will still enjoy chewing these, running in them, but it can also be a really good place to give them things that perhaps are a bit too messy or they will destroy instantly in the main cage, things like more expensive foraging toys, for example, or you can also give them things like dig boxes and also do things like pea fishing with them. That can be a really fun activity that you can also put into the cage if you want to, but they will make a big mess with this. So doing this in free roam, giving them peas or sweet corn or vegetables to fish for in a tub or a dish of water is a really fun activity. There are many different things you can place into their free roam, and it's probably easy if I show you instead, so I'll give you a tour of my setup in a second. But things like cat trees are really fun. You can modify these to make them a bit more accessible for rats. Dig boxes, as I mentioned, pea fishing, castles, houses, different foraging toys and switching these up so they have a different one on different days, and also things like cat wands. Some rats will have no reaction to this, but some of mine love these. They love chasing them, and they literally are like mini cats. So invest in one of these if you can and try it with your rats, but try them with a wide variety of different things. But I think that is everything. Now I'll give you a tour of their setup and tell you where certain things are from, and then we can let the rats out and let them explore. Okay, so this is the pet room. We've got the rat cage over on the left, and then this is their free roam setup. So most of their things are over on this side, but they have got the entire room to run around, and they go pretty much wherever they want to. So the first thing they've got is this. This is actually a wine rack from IKEA, and I only just recently bought this, so I have actually got to varnish it to protect it from their pee. But I have this next to their cage so that when I open the door, they can use this to climb out, but you can use these in their cage, outside of their cage, as a climbing frame, and they work really well. So have got that there. I do also have a ladder for them to get out if they want to, but this tends to work better. So then all the way over next to their cage is like the main free roam area. They've got a bunch of things, and we actually have a cat tree that's surrounded by stuff. This is actually on a table. Again, this table is from IKEA, but raising this up utilizes a lot more space. I can put things underneath this, and we're not losing space in a very small room. So this is a cat tree. I was actually sent this by a brand. I'll link this in the description. But I've kind of modified this to make it rat friendly and put a bunch of enrichment on. So at the top we have this grass hide, and I was quite worried they would use this to jump up onto the shelf and knock over all of their paintings, but so far so good. And then underneath this is an IKEA tie holder. This I use inside the cage and also outside as a fall breaker just in case they do slip. And this I've attached to the wall, I'm not sure if you can see, with these white screw-in hooks. And that works quite well, that is not going anywhere. And then beneath that we've attached a hammock just in case they want to be extra lazy and sleep during their free roam, although I try not to let them do that. And then right behind that is a toy. This is by Clyde's Critter Climbers. You can put treats and things in there, and it's just hanging from the top, again screwed on with a white hook. Moving down, we've got a Java branch. I think this is the medium size, and then another IKEA tie holder. They do use this one a lot to climb up the cage instead of using the bars. And then we've got this long foraging toy. I can't remember where I got this from, but this is really good because you can hide treats in the different sections. And then right behind here, the cat tree actually comes with a hammock again. And we have this chew toy. I think this was also from Clyde's Critter Climbers. Right at the back, at the bottom of the cat tree, I have got a plastic box, and inside of this is packing peanuts. These ones are dissolvable, so they are safe for them to eat. They're basically just starch. And this is probably their favourite thing in the entire room. They love to sit in here, dig in there, take them back to the cage. So that is at the back. And then in front of that is a hanging basket. Don't ask me where I got this from. I think it was from a local garden centre, but inside I've just put some shredded cardboard just as a different texture, and then I sometimes hide treats in this, and they do actually manage to get in and out of that, which It's quite interesting to watch. Then moving down, we have this branch which is wrapped in sisal rope, just to give them something extra to grip on. And they do manage to walk down this really, really well. And this leads down to their dig box, which is a very, very long Christmas tree storage box from Argos, I think. It is bigger than it looks on camera. It goes all the way back under the table. This was further this way, but I've kind of shoved it in to make space for other things. And at the back is a cork log. They've just got a mixture of topsoil, cocoa soil, packing peanuts have made their way in as well. And then I also do place in live plants from time to time. So this is parsley, and they love to dig in here, rip this up and eat it. Sometimes I will also place in live mealworms that will go down into the soil, and they can dig and search for these too. Next to this is their pea fishing area, and this is surrounded by willow. And don't worry, I'm always sat here watching them, and I've never seen them get their hands or legs or feet stuck in this, but if they did, I would quickly remove it. And then inside is just a glass dish. Now, I did have a whole pea fishing system going on. You might have seen that video, but I have clearly removed that because I had a whole filter system in a big tub, and I was always tripping over the wire. So I have taken that out. And now I just fill this up when I want to, place in peas, sweet corn, and then when I'm done, I can just tip it into the soil. So that does work a lot better. Next to that, I just keep all of their cat wands. This one is pretty much just arrows, and he's shredded all of the feathers off this. I just keep them tucked in there for when I want them. Next to their dig box, I've got this fabric tunnel. This is from Wilko, I believe, and it has a little cat ball on that they do not care for. And then I also have a few outside of the cage foraging toys. A lot of them are in these drawers over here, and I just switch up which ones I use. Right now they've got this one by Living World, and it does come with a few different attachments. This one seems to be the easiest one for them. They just have to slide it to get the treats. And then we also have this one. I don't know where most of the parts for this have gone. I think my foster rabbit has thrown them somewhere under a cupboard. But they enjoy this one, just pulling the bits out to get treats and food. And then of course we have this castle. This is like the feature of the room, and this is new because this video is in partnership with a company called Pets Gang. They were kind enough to reach out and send me this castle for the rats, but they do these in sizes for rabbits, guinea pigs, a bunch of other wooden items, things like multi-chamber hides for hamsters and mice that are really good. So I went for this castle, and I have modified it slightly. So I did actually go ahead and varnish this to protect it from the rat's pee. I might go ahead in the future and possibly paint this a specific colour and design if I want to, but I was too excited and wanted them to be able to use it straight away. So the varnish I use is actually called Yacht Varnish, and it does change the colour very, very slightly, but that's okay. So I have been using it like this, but also when I want a bit more space, I will turn the stairs around that way and make a ramp, and I think it looks cool either way. So as I said, I have added a few things to it for the rats. This one is just for decoration. This is a fake reptile vine plant thing. And then this is one of their foraging toys that I do regularly use inside of their cage, but I somehow managed to attach this to like the peephole section, and this just has a few of their treats in. They have to spin this to get them out, and I thought that was a really clever move on my part. On the inside of the castle, this is very, very satisfying. I sell these snuffle mats in my store, and they're a perfect fit. So we have one on that side, and then another one on that side. And then inside I've just scattered some of their daily mix. So I think that is everything in their free roam. They also have their treats and jars up there. This is my stool to sit on. Oh, also, they have cardboard boxes. These I just take from the local grocery store, and you can do the same. I think they're usually this way round with products in, but you can take them and use them for free. Usually they have them out the back if you ask, or sometimes just at the end of the aisle, so you can take these. You don't even have to ask sometimes, and I'll always try to find a nice one. This one has a wood effect on the side, so that was coming home with me. But yeah, that is their free roam space. Not the biggest space in the world, but I feel like I have utilised it quite well. They have also got all of this floor to run around on as well, and they usually end up going in these drawers as well. So let's release the boys. that is it for today's video. I hope you guys have enjoyed seeing their 3-room setup, and maybe it's given you some ideas for yours, especially if you have a small space to work with, because I haven't got that much space, but I feel like I've utilised it quite well. So I hope this has given you some inspo. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!